How are we doing on time? Are we?
Maybe a couple more poems.
A couple more poems? Yeah. Okay, let me. I just see what everything I see by Tomaz just makes me laugh. So here's a poem by Dean. What would that letter after Z look like? The last question was beyond anything the class had studied. A morning storm, and by afternoon it's summer no more. I was mistaken about the death of crows, their shadows never die. I was mistaken about honeycomb, it's not full of God. Sometimes the only ending is abrupt, but the man will never finish blackening out her name. It turns out the burning house is Byzantium. The breakers rake the beach. I promise the same promises as hail, fallen and furious and melting to nothing. Same grit, my love. Goodbye on the wings of a burr, goodbye. Now it's arithmetic, minus plus minus plus minus. And you see, you hear there the name blackening out, which this was on the fourth day, was the line from Marvin's poem on the first day. And so as we were writing, I think in that field of energy that was created, you would reach back to lines or phrases or jokes that people told a couple of days before, and they would find their ways into the poem. Mark?
Sure. So there have been some collaborations, of course, all along. Recently I collaborated with a musician, a singer, songwriter out of Chicago. His name is Marvin Tate. He was asked to interview me years ago for a new magazine in Chicago called Make, and we did it by email. I'd never met him. And his first question to me was, what do you have on your iPod? I just thought that was great. You know, most interviews, they ask the same questions. So anyway, we did, Make asked us to the Marvin and Marvin show again. And so he wrote a song, and then I wrote a poem back. And then he wrote a song, and I wrote a poem back. And then I said, you should write another song. There's all kinds of collaborations that are possible, of course. Years ago, Crazy Horse, which was then at a different place where it ended up, decided they would get 100 American poets to write the Great American Poem. We would each write one line. Donald Justice was here teaching, and he wrote the first line, which I think he took right out of a news story. And it was about people stealing diamonds out of the mines in Africa, the workers stealing the diamonds, and the sentence had a couple of commas in it and came out to iambic pentameter, which nobody noticed, of course. But anyway, and when they asked me, I said, okay, I'll do it if you let me write the last line. Well, it ended up about 112 lines or something because people got added on. And it was, you know, the worst poem ever written, of course. But the best line in it was by Tom Clark, who said, tiring of poetry, I punch myself in the face. I'm going to read two to end my part of this. My last poem in this series is this. Okay, one last bowl of stones for dinner before we wake. Oh, broken beauty, whole until the dawn. The statue David's of a piece with the bones and entrails left for vultures. If you never cry. Mozart is denial. Poetry is denial. Beauty is denial. Union is fencing, behind which condos rise with good views. Please forgive me, my war criminals, and the crooks who took away our soul. Let my dream kidnap a bucket of Texas slime and make a man of it. Am I to sleep deeply by the river or beget beauty in the air instead of hewing the trees? Here the forest is a forest, and our dream a little Mozart, playing brilliantly for the grown-ups, don't you think? So, and then I'm going to read the last poem, which is by Chris, because this is a great poem to have put last. What bait did they use? Something from the last layer of devils? A banner dipped in oil? A frank exchange of opinions on the meaning of the word union? No one could agree on the level of armaments allowed in the treaty, and so we scrapped our plans to remove the fish ladders from the river choked with dams, which inspired another revolutionary idea from the chef, praised for his inventiveness. Clam sauce without clams. True, we had neglected to register with the authorities, and the warrants issued for our arrest named you as an accomplice. Their hooks were everywhere, in the arguments for and against the moon, in the slaveholder's prayer. The fishmonger was keen to invite us home, even if we didn't speak his language, because we were willing to try anything recorded in the book of books. We knew that we would meet again on the title page. they're still listening at home. Thank you.
Moving on.
Cutting out the booze makes you sick.
Tremendous movies. Tremendous movies. And I read my research.
Certainly wasn't one of the noisiest weeks I've ever heard in that library. I don't know how anything got done.
It's not bloody at all. It's just about. It's just sort of totally anti whatever the university is.
When I was a kid, I found in an attic somewhere. Actually, I think it was my cousin, my older cousin's attic or somewhere. I found this book on like guerrilla night fighting, and it was just wonderful. I loved it.
This is what Jason.
How to stifle a cough so the enemy will hear you,
right.
Stuff like that.
This is just about. I mean, but you think the Marines are so authoritarian, and basic principle is that it's sort of like every guy is a leader, and they all just. It says you just fulfill the intentions of the leader, and you don't. Whatever you do, don't pay attention to orders. Just do.
Get the mission done.
Get the mission done, and do it by stealth or whatever you have to do. And I think that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Energize and be a killer. So I'll see you later. Just get back. Okay, take care of stuff.
Got a crummy job again, but he did it.
I'm sorry.
Music, I'll tell you about.
Yeah. Maybe I'll catch you at the job house. You go there anymore?
Yeah, every day at 11.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you got a good pen? What do you got? Oh, this. Okay. Tell me for thing. Yes, I like it. So what I'll do is, I'll do this.
That makes sense.
Which is like a chicken. A chicken could write better. And then on here, I have to print. My handwriting is so bad. Oh, today is like the 15th. No, the 14th. You can hold this like a bowling ball.
I love this.
Isn't that great?
Yes. Did you have anything to do with that?
No, totally surprised by it. Sure.
Can I get you to sign a copy of this for a good friend of mine who's
Sure.
an aspiring poet?
Okay. Let me. What I'll do is, what I do with this thing is first I do this.
Thank you.
In case you run into all these people, so you can.
Thank you.
What's his name?
His name is Adam.
A-D-A-M.
Yeah. Actually working hard to convince him to come here.
Where is he now?
Michigan.
Where?
Near Ann Arbor.
Maybe that'll
That's very enticing. Thank you so much, sir.
Sure, you're very welcome.
Hey. How are you?